I'd like to go ahead and bring back up the appointment of individuals to a task force to review our current business license, ordinance, and policy. And with that, if the rest of my colleagues would like to go ahead and introduce their selection to that task force, and then we could put those before the mayor for your approval. I would like to ask that the board approve Joelle Harrison, 308 South Jennings. Joelle and her husband Tony and their daughter Ciara and son Tony have been 16-year residents of the city of Odessa. Joelle has owned and operated a salon for 7 years in Blue Springs, and Tony operated and owned Tony's Room, a sports memorabilia business in Odessa, for over 4 years. Joelle has been very active as a youth volunteer in the community for years, and she's very excited and ready to work with a group of individuals that will serve on this task force to assist the city in our review process of our business license.
While we're on this, Lori, how many people would you like to have on this board, or what are you thinking?
My suggestion is that that each board member nominate an individual, including the mayor as well, and so that would give us a task force of 7, and then I think, you know, we start there, and then if it needs to be adjusted from there, we could so do that.
Mark?
I would recommend for this board Tahnami Gittinger, again, longtime resident of the area, business owner, parent of 2 children in the school system. I think would be a very good member of that board.
Justin?
I would like to nominate Dr. Shawn Croucher. He's been a resident in Odessa for a little over 9 years now. He's a veterinarian, was practicing in Odessa, is now practicing at an emergency clinic in the city. Him and his son both live next door to me, actually. And he's been wanting to get more involved in things with the city. We've had multiple conversations about ideas and thoughts that would be good as far as businesses and things for the city. He's a bright man and would be really good for the task force.
Steve?
I'd like to nominate David Sparks. I believe everybody knows David. He's been on the board here and citizen of Odessa, and
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. I had one positive response. A retired person that was outside the city limits. That was a improvement from serving on the board. Talked to 2 or 3 other people, and I either received the affirmation or negative response. The main question that I received was, what was the time? Often will we meet? It's that I'm sure I could get an answer to that. I'm sure someone will step up to the plate.
One thing that the board has never discussed is what is the scope of being a member here? You know, what are they going to have to do, and what's going to be expected of them, that type of thing. Have you got ideas?
Mm-hmm. I envision this task force as a temporary group of individuals to meet a specific task of reviewing what our current business ordinance entails, and then looking at surrounding communities of like size, or and gathering and fact-finding committee to see what other communities have enforced in their business licensing practice, specifics that they might have on suspension or revocation, or if there are specifics in place for businesses that deal with youth. just what else is out there, and bring back that information for this board's consideration as we take a look at our ordinances and want to update them to meet our needs in now and into the future. So it's a temporary commitment, and I think that the committee would meet as often as that committee deems necessary to bring back information to this board for our consideration.
You definitely want someone to consider this, right? That's the strongest candidate was
I asked that same question last time, and the response was we would like them to be in city limits, because it's.
I thought that was kind of the feeling of the
Yeah.
board members at the last meeting.
I'll get with that, so I would like my new people on it, but I would have to call City Hall.
Well, the fact that we have 4 appointments tonight, does the board want to act on the 4 tonight, or do you want to pursue this a little farther, or how you want to handle it?
I'm fine with moving forward on the 4 individuals that have been introduced, and been considering Mr. Carmody's and Mr. Duff's appointments as they come to us. I'm fine with that.
Do you have a person also?
I don't have one. I didn't know I was in the play. I know we're talking about maybe 6 people. I didn't know. I could find somebody. I'm good at volunteers. But, yeah, find somebody.
I would not be opposed to taking the 4 and beginning the process, though.
How does the board want to do this? Do you want to, this is kind of Lori, we kind of need a coordinator on this to get this thing off the ground.
I think that if each of the board members, if you would like to put down some thoughts as toward the scope of what you would like to see this task force bring back for consideration, jot down your ideas and get those to, let's get those to Mr. Payslip or the mayor at City Hall as soon as possible. And then that will give these individuals some pointers as to what we'd like to hear back from them. I think that would be a good starting point.
Volunteer boards are great, but I just feel like they need some direction where they're going.
Mm-hmm. Which they'll be able to access our current ordinances. Those are, easy enough to get to, and then, some of that's just going to be legwork on their part, and looking online and talking with some other communities, and then just bringing back what else is out there and what is in place and for our consideration as we want to update our ordinances and have, the best possible language in our ordinances, and move forward in that. So, this received an awful lot of attention, and we had a lot of community members that expressed interest in having a say and helping out where we, may have some areas that we need to be looking at to update. So I think this is a fine opportunity for us to engage some key players in the community and get some feedback.
If the board, if the board feels good about starting off with 4 members, I will too make those mayoral appointments.